and they want to take Aatrox is what I think this read is, but
they're trading Aatrox for Azael.
Then they have the wrong read. This is like really strange because Rogue by banning Jax to me says that they wanted the Aatrox and they thought the enemy team was going to take Azael, but then top just take Aatrox and now they can't one of the answers to Aatrox against themselves.
Well, I mean, Odo has never really been known to play as Jax. Sylas blind.
Okay, and
who am I casting right now? So the Caitlyn is very normal for Rogue.
Yep.
Like during the regular season, Comp was the Caitlyn player. He was pretty much the only one domestically who was playing it a lot. But the Sylas blind, that was a humanoid thing, that was a Caps thing, that was a VTO thing, that was not a Larssen thing, and now Knight is challenging him in the skill matchup.
Okay. Well, you know who else is getting challenged here? JackeyLove Draven locked in, because he's like the prototypical Draven player in the LPL, and when you're going to blind the Caitlyn, you're going to have that as the answer. So Caitlyn Lux will be locked in for Comp and Trymbi. They will potentially be able to ban out some of the support that they think could be a problematic pairing here with that Draven, but it is going to be JackeyLove Draven here, and we're going to have to see how they can handle it.
Yup, Caitlyn Lux is going to be oppressive in the lane. Their first ban is the Pike, one of those things that can snowball very effectively with a Draven, so that's off the table.
If I was top, I would be thinking about Sion, Malphite, all these other just tanks that can act as engage. I would even consider banning away Jarvan. Not that I think that Jarvan is necessarily a problem when you're playing into Aatrox and Akali, but if you just want to take Malrang off some of those engaged champions, it makes the most sense. Meanwhile, if you're Rogue, I think the best thing to do is ban away the Thresh now. Thresh plus Draven, I think, gives you so much kill threat on the bot side of the map. And while in lane early levels, it can be like difficult. The moment that you hit level 3, you have a lot of gank setup. So I think that it would make sense for Rogue to remove that, but instead they're going to remove the Nautilus. Same principle, same idea, slightly easier to execute on the side of Nautilus, so this also makes sense.
Point and click ulti there. You know, if they want to go for an aggressive option, you can still look towards something like the Thresh or even a Leona. Can be a good option there for Mark. There is also always the Renata, which is a pretty popular pairing with this as well, if you want to have an enchanter in there. So we'll be interested to see what they go for here for odoamne now. You know, I thought it was going to be the Gnar last time around when we were in this situation, but then they went for the Rumble. Like, do they run it back on the Rumble and say, all right, it was actually the right pick, but it just wasn't played out right? Or do they go to something a little bit more typical like the Gnar, which can, I think, play to a lot of Odo's strengths and feels like it's pretty much in his wheelhouse?
So the question is, was it a brains loss or a hands loss? Right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, was it the wrong pick or... Ooh. Oh, interesting. So this is kind of almost a similar situation that we saw them in before, and they let the enemy team actually take the Vi, so this time they're grabbing it away.
Interesting. So they want a little bit more lockdown. It does make sense. You are playing against an Akali and an Aatrox, both surprising. Well, I mean, the Akali, but I think a lot of people underestimate how mobile the Aatrox is, and it also gives you strong lockdown onto the Draven, and it synergizes very well with Caitlyn traps, Lux bindings, and overall a lot of single target burst from the side of Rogue.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can even set up very easily, you know, with the Vial comes in, hits the Draven, Lux ulti is going to be guaranteed to land there over the top. Sylas can be piling in. The Blitz, though!
Baby, let's go!
We're getting some
Esports got Blitzcrank locked in.
Oh man, this is actually so exciting here. The Blitz coming out from Mark. Maybe a little bit of a spicy pick now that they're already illuminated here.
I love it. I love it.
It's gonna be fun, man. Blitz is very much hit or miss. As simple as that. You hit the hook, you're looking good. You miss the hook, you're looking like a fool, right?
Yeah.
The champion doesn't have a lot else going on besides that. The silence, though, very powerful. And both Caitlyn and Lux will be really squishy targets. So if you can actually lock either of them down, could be looking really good. Tian's going to be on his Lee Sin, which he is really well known for. So we'll have the ability to try to get aggressive, and it feels like they're going to be playing a lot around bot.
So as far as I can tell, and of course my research is quite limited in this space, this is his first ever professional Blitzcrank game. Now, he's very familiar with hook champions. He's played a lot of Nautilus. He's familiar with all these, but Blitzcrank has not come out professionally for this young man. So the fact that he is bringing out alongside JackeyLove against Rogue, bear in mind, top, they can't qualify for the quarterfinals. Right. So right now, all they're doing is playing to ruin Rogue's day, to make it harder for them to secure top seed in this group.
Just tilt them.
And to basically...
Predicted first place finishers. So we'll have to see if Rogue can clean it up. We didn't even talk about it, but it was the Gnar that did come through as the 5th pick after the Blitz came through. Didn't really care about anything else.
It's a 5-man group at level 1 from top. They are not messing around. They are on the hunt, but they are also on a ward. That is not That's not what they wanted to do.
That's going to make surprising Rogue slightly harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flowers.
The difficulty of this
Greatly reduces
invade.
the chance of
Yes,
surprising
it does,
Rogue.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
it does.
The difficulty
But the
of
question
invade
is,
spiked up.
can Rogue surprise top esports?
Oh, the classic counter to the Blitzcrank level 1
Go,
invade.
they have
Well, they know they were
information,
spotted, so they shouldn't just be completely
but
caught
what
off
do
guard
top
for this.
esports know?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The answer is
Uh-oh.
nothing!
Yes! Rogue come in with the counter attack.
But it
Tian
doesn't
gets
result
away.
in anything.
No.
Does not result in much. I thought it would be a lot more dramatic than that, admittedly, but Larssen choosing to start with the E so that Trymbi doesn't have to start with the Q. If they'd had that chain CC, maybe they would have had
Yeah.
enough damage. Now, there are a couple pros and a couple cons. The pros for Rogue is that this will delay Tian's start to
Uh-oh.
the clear.
Look at this
The
hook.
cons are that there is a ward here, but Rogue will be aware of it and they will step and ground and go the long way. So they're not going to fall privy to that. But notice as well, both junglers now starting on the top side of the map. They will get assistance from their top laners and both making that small sacrifice to come to lane late.
Yeah, I like the level 1, the back and forth battle here. At the end of the day, you know, they do get a little bit of a chunk on Tian. They make him start W, but not really the end of the world here by any means. And as you said, Betty, I do think Trymbi would have had to commit to the Q start. Oh, the hook in early. Trymbi's in trouble.
The first pull hit, and JackeyLove's ready to flash follow. One more hour's gonna do it. First blood of the JackeyLove. Cobb goes right back in, and he gets him right back. 1-to-1 in the bottom lane.
At the end of the day, it's 4 summoners, though, spent here by Rogue, and the flash is still available for Mark. First blood goes to Jackie, and he gets the cash-in gold. Of course, not from the stacks, but you do get a base amount of gold there from the passive, so he's going to be coming out on top in this trade.
Wow, coming back to lane with 2 long swords is definitely going to be a favorable situation for Jackie.
Yep.
Wayward getting a favorable trade up towards the top side of the map. Let's kind of take stock, though. One of the things about Caitlyn and Lux as a duo is they need to get this push early, and Mark leveraging the level 1 to turn the bot lane in TES's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And Trymbi just not respecting the hook there, does not flash it. JackeyLove sees the opportunity here, straight in, does get the cash in there. It was 60 cash in gold, so 20 gold from his stacks, 40 from the base, plus the 400 for first blood. That's 460 gold off of that 1 kill. That is a really big injection of gold into this Draven that does want to be snowballing here. And now they're calling Malrang down, but Tian is here as well, so this could come down to a 3v3.
This is quite a spicy early game. Let's see if we can get it going. Tian walking over the control ward, so they're aware of his presence. They're still trying to be respectful of Mark's hook. Tian is going right back up into the river, picking up the scuttle crab for himself now.
But they saw that Tian left, so now it is a potential gank angle here again. Tian is coming back to cover. They know that there could be an angle. They're actually spam pinging the brush that Malrang was in. They didn't have vision on him, but they have the read.
Yeah.
Top knowing that, hey, we don't have flash on JackeyLove. It's a wave that's being stacked towards us. That's
Oh my God, Mark, let's go! He goes for the flash, he goes for the pull, he goes in, and Jackie goes to 2 kills.
2 hooks, 2 kills. Mark is going off, and now Odo in trouble.
Wayward's going after him. I'm loving the emote game from Top Esports here. Odo with the flash out, barely surviving the Aatrox Comet.
Odoamne was forced to flash there because he saw the scorch damage plus the comment meant that even an auto attack would have been enough to secure that kill. But Rogue already in this early game falling short. The Blitzcrank answer working wonders for Top Esports.
Betty, close your eyes. Don't look at the bottom lane gold difference at any cost.
Oh,
It is,
no.
it's 1,000 gold already.
But let's look back
between
instead
the
of this
two.
engage. Oh!
Ooh, that's just a panic net.
That was a, he tries to react in the
Yep.
moment and his mouse just isn't quite in the right place. But I don't think it necessarily would have helped him either way.
No.
A really good flash hook comes in from Mark. And Azael, you talked about it earlier, that summoner spell trade that we
Yep.
saw at level 1. 3 summoners for 4, that single summoner spell not burnt ended up paying dividends for Top Esports.
And this is something that the LPL teams, all the top LPL teams are so good at punishing. Missing resources, missing summoner spells. All the top LPL teams really do have that in common. That when you're down a flash, it's like blood in the water. Sharks are going to be coming. They're going to be looking for that kill. And they are able to punish, and they can look to go right back at it again, because with no flash on Trymbi and comp, it's so hard to play out this lane. Caitlyn Lux dominates lanes by getting the push and harassing their opponents under tower. But when you're playing these double range lanes and you have no flash, you really cannot safely push whatsoever.
It's such a scary position to find yourself in. JackeyLove just fine, farming up the minions for now. You can see both supports getting out of the lane, roaming around a bit. Mark pops the horn there, but there's not a whole lot to do considering he knows that Comp is also somewhere nearby. Doesn't want to just go for a crazy pull. Tian coming towards the bottom side here yet again. Top very invested in this bottom part of the map for good reason. I expect we're going to see Malrang back down around here again soon too, trying to make something happen. You can see he's making his way back down into his own jungle. He's level 4. Tian is level 5. That could be a big difference if they find themselves in a 1v1 here in the jungle, but Malrang's not even going to risk it. He'll walk straight down the lane. Tian starts up the Gromp in the enemy jungle. X flash over the wall. Pull hits again. It's point and click for Mark.
He don't miss. Mark on the Blitzcrank is making it look easy. Tian is here, and they're positioning like they want to dive.
And yes, they will. Malrang has to flash back underneath the turret, and Top will not be able to complete this just yet, but I don't think they're done. Mark finally hits an air ball, and that means Top's calling it off.
It was such a big wave that Top Esports saw that dive as just too much of a juicy opportunity not to go for it. Rogue, though, you saw that their priority was clearing out that wave as quickly as possible, get more XP onto Malrang, give him that level up to make the fight that much easier, which meant the Top Esports, after missing that hook, decided not to commit, but the damage was done. They got the kill onto Trymbi, and what a clean kill it was.
And it's just the Hex Flash over the wall here, hugging the side there. Comp able to sidestep, but Trymbi is not able to do it. Another kill, another cash-in for Jackie. He is off to the races. 3,800 gold on JackeyLove total. Comp is at 2,400. He is a full 1,400 here behind. The Mythic is going to be completed, plus the Serrated Dirk. Before Comp even has his Mythic done, the Caitlyn is just hopelessly behind, and it's rough because all 3 lanes are now losing. Knight is ahead mid. Top, we're already seeing Odo get punished as well. It's looking rough for Rogue.
Yeah, typically Rogue have won by having pushing lanes and then their jungler enabling them. A core facet of what has made Rogue good is their laning phase. And very rarely, domestically, would you see them challenged in this laning phase. They would often draft in a way that made it difficult for them to really be challenged in this position. But when you come to the international events, this is the prime place where the best players in the world meet to challenge you. And when you take those skill matchups, especially a roster like Top Esports that are known for basically taking those skill matchups, they're gonna come out ahead.
Absolutely, and I mean, Trymbi, at the end of the day, he's been playing mostly enchanters throughout Worlds. You know, he does have the one engage game on the Recon, but when he's on those enchanters, the primary engage becomes Malrang, and there's a lot of pressure on him. And your job becomes so tough, though. They are looking for a top.
Well, there's your primary engage, there's your primary target, and
Nicely
there's
done.
a kill for odoamne.
You know, I was gonna say, it's so hard as a jungler when you have 3 losing lanes to be able to find those angles because you're often pushed in. There are these wards that start appearing in your jungle. But, you know, it's a nice lane gank there from Malrang, able to find the opportunity to punish Wayward, who has no TP, so it's going to be odoamne getting to push in, maybe even take a play here before he goes back to base.
So a few problems that we're now starting to see for Rogue. Of course, yes, that was a good pick up on the top side of the map, but with the Herald now secured for Tian, he has one of 2 options. One, he can look to throw that Herald down mid, maybe funnel a little bit more gold into Knight, but he recognizes, you know what, Knight is winning the skill matchup in the 1v1. We can leave him isolated, he's totally fine. Instead, let's try and use the pro that he has and start pressuring the bot side of the map, and you can already start to see him getting this deeper vision on the bot side to invest this Herald into the bot lane tower. We can see that no TPs are available top lane, but we don't have the level 14 yet anyway. But even if this doesn't guarantee the tower, it can secure the Drake and an early win condition for Top Esports. So they have all the options right now, and Malrang is forced to play defense because he realizes what Top Esports are trying to do.
JackeyLove eats a little bit of damage there, going up underneath that turret, making sure they do enough so the minions can get him the second plate. And with Top's control over the bottom lane, now they can move over to the Drake.
But this is exactly what we were talking about, right? Push in mid, they used their push in mid to rotate towards the bot side. They got deep vision, which means that Malrang's forced to play very hesitantly. Like, you can see he queued over the wall to get to his wolves because he's so afraid of just face checking into his jungle, which then gives agency for the bot lane to then move up and secure the Drake. Top Esports just have full control over the early game. Flash hook. Gonna miss this time as Trymbi respects.
Trymbi with
But
the
Tian, that was actually so close. If that Q actually connects there onto Trymbi, that could be a kick flash and another kill for the bot lane. This time, Trymbi is paying respect to it. They stopped the recalls there with the Draven ulti. They're trying to hard shove this in, but
Malrang
again,
has ult.
Malrang is here, but if you don't know where Tian is, I don't think you can go for this play. And that's part of the problem, is that they have no forward vision. You know, you're looking in this kind of whole area. this is all just enemy vision there. You know, it's all top vision. Rogue doesn't really have any idea of where Tian is, and if he's in the side brush and you ult in on Vi, that's your game done.
I mean, the gold lead in this game is just shy of about 3,000, and almost 2,000 of that is just going to beat JackeyLove over anybody else in the game. The chart was up on the left side of the screen, and I thought it was broken at first because that one blue bar for gold is just so far out ahead of everybody else. Immortal Shield Bow, Serrated Dirk versus Parts.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's rough, and now Mark is unleashed here on the map. Tian is going to be moving around with him, you know, getting the deep vision, and Comp is going to get spotted. Oh, Comp is going to walk past that ward, and if he doesn't see him, he could get caught here.
Okay.
Oh, he spotted him with the control ward. He saw that Tian was there, and he was like, this is not safe. And what do they do now? Oh, the Herald. This is the play that they were setting up earlier. They converted it into a Drake before. Now they can convert it into a tower. It's just clean play. Top Esports playing the map beautifully, and they're enabling JackeyLove. Look, he's going to get all of the plate gold. Of course, Tian securing a small part of it, but the resources being funneled into JackeyLove are just phenomenal right now.
I mean, the solo gold on the tower there, he's now nearly 3,000 gold ahead individually at 11 minutes. This is a Draven snowballing out of control here. And Knight getting aggressive here onto Larssen, who will look to retreat back towards Malrang on the top side.
Meanwhile, back in the top lane, Odo flashing away. Wayward tried to flash follow to hit the Q3, but you can see it was just a millisecond too slow, so he wasn't able to find the sweet spot. Now Malrang's coming up, but Tian's ready to join. Can they keep Wayward alive? Yes, they can! Minion bullets say no! It's 1 for 1. Knight makes his way into the top side as odoamne tries to get back underneath the turret. Whirling Death will not find a kill in the bottom lane, but Comp and Trymbi continue to have to play off the back foot.
Yeah, and they're down all of their summoners there. The Ignite is spent from Trymbi, both Flash and Heal spent from Comp as well. And Odo is going to escape on that top side, but the kills do come back. Thankfully, at the very least, Malrang, with that challenging smite, I believe, finishing off Wayward there, has the burn onto him. So they get something, but Tian just invading relentlessly. Larssen here, though, on the move, looking for a pick.
This could be big. Nicely done with a stolen Lee Sin ulti. Tian gets over the wall, but Malrang's ready to follow. Tian still tries to walk it off, but Vi hits hard, and Malrang ties up the game in kill.
Rogue, they get a little bit back, but right now, individually, they're just getting outclassed. The fact that Knight was even able to roam up top, even before Larssen just goes to try and make pressure he's had in mid. The hook tries to predict the sidestep from Larssen, but he holds his nerve, continues to walk away. But we saw Wayward just straight up outplaying in the 1v1. Like the matchup, sure, Aatrox is a very strong champion, but like bot lane 2v2, they are winning. Top lane 1v1, Top Esports is winning.
Yeah.
Mid lane 1v1, Top Esports are just, this is how they dominated the LPL. They hand-gapped people, okay? They go, our hands move better than yours do. Our brains, not the same, but hands, real good, right? And that was one of the big disparities between Top Esports and JDG. That's why they were the contrast of styles. Top Esports could get ahead in the early game, but sometimes they fall short in the mid-game.
Uh-oh. Odo's ready to go over the wall, but guess who's waiting? He ended up actually bouncing over his head, but it won't matter. Mini Gnar can't survive that, and Wayward gets the money. Top Esports aren't done yet. They'll continue moving into the jungle, chasing away the enemy players and chasing out that vision.
Mark just continues to live in the jungle of Rogue. He did it on the bot side. Now he's translated up to the top side. The control that he has, odoamne was not expecting a Blitzcrank to be on the other side of that wall.
Just look at this. It's all enemy vision here again. You know, Rogue can hardly enter their own jungle. They are just playing so well to get coverage. Whatever they're playing strong side of the map, they move in. This jungle support duo starts to get vision. Wayward will be pushed back here. Could be in trouble as Malrang does have his ulti, but they're not going to go for it because they don't know where Tian is again. And he was getting pretty darn close to that tower. So if you take that by LT in, it may be a one-way trip.
Huge props to Wayward. He really has been the person that's been attacked the most in the early game. We've seen Malrang covering the bot side of the map a lot, but in terms of early ganks, it has been this top lane, and he still finds himself at 2-2-0. He's still ahead in farm, and he is still soaking up this pressure, allowing Top Esports to claim even more on the rest of the map.
And really, I mean, for Malrang, he's just had very limited options. You can't really attack the bot lane because unless you have perfect information and know where Tian is, you're always going to lose the 3v3 when Draven is this far ahead. Yeah. So it just makes it so tough, but they're going to try to dive now.
And there it is. They burst him down before Aatrox is able to drain tank anything. But now Knight is ready for the cleanup. Sure, he can flip, making sure there's no sort of an opportunity for an execution or an outplay, and Knight picks up the money.
Still, I would say a great play for Rogue overall. They get the flash at the TP and the ulti from Knight, and it is just that trade kill back. So Rogue You know, trading evenly is trading positively when you are behind. They're hunting for Odo now, though. Will they spot him recalling?
Here we go. Mark found him. Mark got him. And JackeyLove only has to put the auto attacks in. Stand aside will slow him down, but not enough to not get it without the flash. So Jackie at least has to spend a summoner spell, but that's more money on an already fed Draven.
Did you notice that JackeyLove, by the way, stopped to grab another axe, build another stack, and then get the kill afterwards to maximize the amount of money that he was going to get?
Look at this. It's just not fair. He's nearly doubling the gold of comp at this point. This Draven is out of control.
That is, for context, that's an Infinity Edge difference.
Yeah.
That is the amount of, like,
At this point, you can just build an Infinity Edge without the 60% crit and it would still be fine.
Yeah, you guys remember a minute ago when I was like, yeah, Caitlyn only has item parts and Draven's popping off. Caitlyn still only has item parts. So
Yeah.
Malrang?
it's a bit of a struggle here for Comp and for Trymbi in the bottom lane of Rogue. Second, Drake goes over to top Esports with their 6,000 gold lead 16 minutes into the game. The Draven is just a force of nature at this point. Essence Reaver, second item completed, so he's never going to run out of mana for all the Blood Rush, all the whirling axes. It's more problems for Rogue.
And it's one of those things where I think we're getting to see an interesting cultural difference, because when you kind of look at how Europe plays against the Caitlyn Lux, it's always about, we're going to draft strong side and cross map, right? Instead of trying to stop Caitlyn Lux from doing things, we're instead going to commit to the other side of the map. Whereas over in the East, they sit there and go, because Damwon did the same thing, where they just said, we're going to kill you. We're going to kill you at level 1, we're going to kill you at level 3, and we're going to kill you at level 5. And it's worked both times now. Of course, it requires a lot of confidence and really good support from your jungler, but that is exactly what top esports have done, and all the credit needs to go to Mark. The fact that he has landed every single hook, or like a near 80-90% hit rate, the man is on fire in this game.
He absolutely is, and Rogue could be in trouble here. Mark gonna look again.
Mark tries to find it. Larssen with a nice sidestep. He's the one who's been reading Mark the best so far, as now the Herald gets summoned up. Remember, they used that first Herald in the bottom lane to put all of that extra money onto JackeyLove. Now they're going to be able to use the second one to get the top lane tier 1 turret as well. And that means 4 turrets now claimed for top esports.
For 0, Flowers. 4-0. Rogue have barely touched towers anywhere on the map so far. It has just been complete domination. And of course, top esports, while they can't qualify for the quarterfinals, they can end the group stage, but at the very least, a more positive performance than how it started. And they could make it harder for Rogue to secure that first seed in the group.
Mark fishing there with the hook, doesn't actually connect, but not much risk of doing it because there's not really any windows for Rogue to engage off the back of it. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we've seen both the way that they were attacking earlier, you know, with this Ashe Heimer bot lane into the Kalista, trying to punish that, you know, the aggressive early lane. Now again, as you're saying, Betty, it is the Draven as the answer here into Caitlyn. And I think it also really shows the power of some of these pocket picks, these specific champions where you really are at another level if you're excellent at it. You know, an average Draven player, it's never worth picking the Draven, but if you truly excel on this champion, it can dominate a game, and we're seeing it here,
Tian
3 items to 1 between them.
Tien's going to start it off, but it's more about Knight coming in to deal the damage. Or is it? Tien's just whooping him on his own, but they want to put the money on the mid laner. Nope, never mind. Tien said, I did most of the work. I'm getting most of the money.
Yep, going to be able to take that one away. At least they share the assist gold there, and Knight will be able to take down this minion wave. Rogue does get a tower, but unfortunately no one there for the local gold, so not going to get much of an advantage from it. And JackeyLove's on 3 completed items. Comp just barely finished his first. He's got a longsword on top. But the whole game, if they do want a team fight, is going to come down to can you get to JackeyLove? Because if you cannot actually take down JackeyLove, you are toast. That being said, they do have some ways to get there. Potentially, Malrang can ult in on top of him. Trymbi throws the ulti in over top. You know, you do try to layer some of this burst and hopefully knock him down. But the problem is, there's a lot of other threats now on top as well. You know, Tian is very strong. Knight is farming incredibly well, past 10 CS per minute on the Akali. Yeah, Wayward's having a good game, so if you completely ignore them, they are going to run over you.
Morellonomicon now completed there for Knight as well, just making sure that they're not going to let any heals stop them from getting any of the kills that they want. You're talking about the importance of JackeyLove, and if JackeyLove is the centerpiece of this entire game, then his flash has to be one of the most important spells out of anybody. Nearly back up off of cooldown, so expect that to create even more problems for Rogue as they try to find these positions. That's one of the things you can do to Vi when she goes to ult you. If you have flash, if you have a gap closer, you can drag her further away from the rest of the team. team, and all of a sudden, a good play isn't so good.
Absolutely, and my guess is for Rogue, they're going to just try to sit back and wait to find any sort of potential picks that they could look for with the Vi. And I think we're probably going to see them not even challenge until maybe Soul instead of Soul Point, because they're just so far behind now. I think they really need to try to look to see if they can get a little bit more farm, and they don't even have the vision really out on the map to try to look for anything. So I think it will be seeding this third dragon, hoping you can turtle up, hoping you find some sort of an angle later on.
Oh, Mark firing one off at Odo there.
The things you're mainly looking for if you're Rogue is like trying to attack the side lanes, right? So we saw Knight in a second ago just pushing out that top wave. That was a window with which Rogue could have looked to try and find a pick in exchange for the dragon. And then if they can push that top wave all the way down to the tier 2, it gives them a little bit more space.
Yep.
Okay, top esports is set up in the enemy jungle. Tian hits the Sonic Wave, but there will be no resonating strike. They know how easy it is for that to get punished if he's underneath the turret and the Lux is ready to bind him. But now Rogue are coming back out onto the map. It's all 5 Rogue players here on the bottom side. Odoamne has the Gnar bar charged up. They might try to contest top here. Odoamne jumps in, forces
Wayward,
Mark fight out there. Wayward's still on the flank.
Look at Knight.
Knight's coming around from the other flank. It's going to be a pincer attack from top. Tian just baiting him in, starting up the Drake as Wayward and Knight make their way forward. Mark guarding Jackie. They're going to be dealing with Odo. Meanwhile, Wayward's going to be killed off too. Top laner for top laner. Tian still looking for a little bit more, and Knight just picks him up so easy. Malrang, he's nothing but food for the taking as top esports are eating good.
Top esports just wipe Rogue off the map, and look at the gold difference now. 9,000 gold is the lead for top esports, and there is a Baron waiting to be taken by top.
And Rogue just looked for that desperation play. They decided that they didn't want to wait any longer. They wanted to try to find an angle there. Odo, with the Mega Gnar just running out, flashes.
This gold,
I have nothing left to say other than
this gold chart is stupid. He's 4,000 ahead of his own teammate who's doing the best other than him.
he's Draven, baby.
Yeah. Well, we can watch this one more time. I mean, it's desperation hours for Rogue, right? Odo sees the Mega Gnar's expiring, so he flashes in for the wallop, but doesn't even find it. And that just kind of encapsulates the fight. They do get this one kill here onto the Aatrox, a nice focus fire and bursting down on what is a very squishy build. But the problem is, Tian is in the back line, the kick comes through, and Knight just follows it up and erases him.
Because that's the thing, Knight hasn't really done much this game, but he hasn't needed to, right? He's just free farmed, he's outplayed Larssen in terms of the 1v1, he's just been farming up very well, and then the second he has an opportunity in the team fights, there's very limited options for Rogue to really lock him down. As I say that, Wayward once again the point of attack.
All right, Wayward, can you get out of this one? Dashes over the wall there, has a blast cone waiting. Malrang still in hot pursuit here, but does not want to go any further. It gets too risky at that point. There it is, Soul Point secured for the side of top esports now too.
He's just making fun of him now.
Yeah, he's just clowning on him a little bit. Knight's coming up to help him. Now he's got back up. Now it's a fair fight. Wayward staying alive. Malrang goes back up the wall, but he's going to be killed first. It's 1-for-1 at least. Larssen picks it up. Knight goes right back underneath the turret. Meanwhile, let's check in across the map as Tian goes on a killing spree, and Jackie's just beating the hell out of the tier 3 turret. It's gone. Inhibitor up next. Knight's ready to stop the backs here in the top lane. He'll only get the one. He flashes after odoamne, and he's ready to try to continue the chase. Smoke screen goes down aggressively, just keeping the energy up. He doesn't even need E2. The game's just gonna end. Top esports, they're on the Nexus at 24 minutes. The Draven is cutting through everything. Trymbi trying to clear him away. Tian here on the front, Malrang jumps in, but that Draven just 4 hits him. And now, how can Larssen even try to deal with it? Ace in the hole finds Tian, but it does less damage than a right click from the Draven at this point. They're stuck back in their own fountain. Comp and Trymbi can do nothing, and Rogue will fall. Top esports just padding the stats at this point. Knock them down. Top esports take the win.
9-1-1 from JackeyLove's Draven, but the star for me is none other than the Blitzcrank here. Mark had an incredible game. Spoon-feeding JackeyLove on the Draven here. Got monstrously ahead, and while top are going home after the group stage, they can hold their heads high, dominating the #1 seed there from the LEC, showing a really impressive game.
Mark started at level 1 and he never stopped for the next 24 minutes because that's all it took for Top Esports to take down Rogue, the Blitz, the Draven. You were talking, Vedius, about Wayward doing a great job absorbing the pressure Top when they tried to respond. Honestly, Top had a really nice game.
It's got to feel